Okay, so the cruises are going to be a 5-day cruise to Cozumel, Mexico. I don't know if I'm saying that right. That's what it's going to be. The last cruise, we did a 3-day cruise to the Bahamas. So my challenge with this cruise was really to kind of up the ante for everything that we did. I want everything to be a step above what we did the last time. It's going to be with Royal Caribbean. It's going to be 5 days. Last time we did 3 days. Some complaints that folks were having last time, they said, the cruise is great, but it could have went a little more longer. I felt like 3 days was great, but we're going to see how this 5-day cruise is. So that's what the next cruise is going to be. 5-day cruise to Cozumel, Mexico. The dates, very important. May 4th, which is a Saturday, through May 9th. The ship arrives back in port May 9th in the morning at 6 a.m. It departs May 4th at 4 p.m. Okay? So it's going to be Saturday through Thursday morning. Let me see here. The ship that we're going to be sailing out of is the Independence of the Sea. Last time we did the Mariner of the Sea. So this is a larger ship. It's a newer ship. The last ship was fine. It was perfect. But this one is just going to be a bigger ship, possibly more to do than the last ship we had. So we're just trying to up our game in every way with that. So there's just some information here about the ship in case anybody's curious. Total capacity of around like almost 5,000 people. It's a Freedom class ship. Royal Caribbean has different tiers of ship. We went with Royal Caribbean last time. We're going to do it again this time, just because and the two major cruise lines for people who aren't familiar with cruises are going to be Royal Caribbean and Carnival. We did the Royal Caribbean in January with the group, and then independently, I did a Carnival cruise in May because people were saying, man, they were kind of saying things about different cruises and cruise lines and just trying to do like a comparison. And I just find that Royal Caribbean overall is just a more luxury experience than Carnival. Carnival is a little more lively in terms of like the club scene on the boat, but in terms of everything else, the food, the actual ship, the amenities, Royal Caribbean is just a step above all of that. So that's why we're going to go with Royal Caribbean again. This picture here is just Royal Caribbean's private islands in the Bahamas, Coco Cay. But more on that a little later. So 4 p.m. departure, Saturday, May, and get this, and we'll talk more about it later. But the port where we'll be departing out of is Miami, Florida. Okay. I think last time we did Port Canaveral, but this one is going to be Miami, Florida. Okay. So here's the itinerary for the cruise. Day 1, May 4th, Miami, Florida. Departs at 4 p.m. Second day of the cruise, we'll arrive at Coco Cay, which is Royal Caribbean's private island, and a ton of stuff to do on Coco Cay. I have a little video on that in a second. I'm not going to play the whole video, but I just want to give people who haven't been on Royal Caribbean before, who don't have any experience with it, a little taste of what it's like. And the third day is going to be just a day out at sea cruising. All right, but a little video on Coco Cay. That's the island there. They have all types of music on the island. They have games, they have pool, they have beaches. They have restaurants there on the island. Most of the restaurants are free. The food is included with your just by being on the cruise. In this video, you see a lot of children. I'm hoping, and the reason I picked these dates is because it's not in the summer, it's not in the middle of spring break. It's kind of like in that in between zone. So I'm hoping that we're not going to have a lot of children on the cruise. We didn't have one last time. We did have a lot of kids on the cruise last time, and I don't foresee there being a lot of kids on the cruise this time. So you see, they have their own little islands there. Folks just hanging out. So that's Coco Cay, Royal Caribbean's private island. Day 4, This is day 4 of the itinerary. Is actually when we arrive at Cozumel, Mexico. So it says Cozumel features great diving, snorkeling, beaches, marine life encounters, botanical gardens, trails, and shopping in the town of San Miguel. The nearby mainland is Tulum. Mayan cliffside ruins overlook Caribbean Sea. So I'm going to click here for some more information. Let me see if I can actually pull it up on the screen so y'all can see it. Trying to show y'all this a little more about Cozumel. Let's see, close that. Okay, so with Royal Caribbean, the way they do it with their cruises is you have excursions that are tied into the cruise line on the different destinations that you go to. These are just examples of some excursions that you can do while you're when you're on the island. They have excursions for Coco Cay. They have excursions for the island that we'll be traveling to, Cozumel. So you see they have some you can do snorkeling. Let's see here. You can do like a swimming with the dolphins experience. You can do some scuba diving. See, they have here Dia dos los Muertos celebration. So all kinds of stuff here. I mean, there's literally there's dozens of things, different sorts of experiences you can do. One experience you can do, see your wellness. You can go do like a cave trek. One thing that really appealed to me was there's some ruins there on the island. That is what I think I might do there on that day there. And so that's a little bit about it. Let's see here. Temple trekking, that's what I'm going to look into. So just different stuff they have from local cuisine there you can try. Just different things across the island. Shopping, natural thrills, you name it. So it's a little bit about that. Let me pop back on screen. Day 5 is just going to be another day at sea, another day at sea. And day 6, early in the morning, we arrive back in Miami, Florida. Okay. So everybody with the way these ships work, they have different sorts of rooms that you can pick out. Each room, the type of room you pick is going to determine your cost, right? So at the base level room that you can get is going to be an interior stateroom. The second level up is going to be either a promenade view or ocean view. I don't have a picture of a promenade view, but a promenade view is just a room that has a window that you can see inside of the ship and what's actually like going on inside what they call the promenade of the ship. So it's like the main areas, deck 3 through 5, where people are kind of moving about with inside of the ship. That's going to be, and the ocean view is just a room with a window that you have a view of the ocean. The reason I like the ocean view balcony rooms is because you're getting natural daylight into the rooms. Last time in January, I did the ocean view room, and when I went on a cruise in May, I did an interior room. But the advantage of the ocean view room is that it has a window balcony. You have your own private balcony, and you also have suites that's available. With each room, like I said, it's like it goes up in price with each room. So the price of the cruise is going to be entirely dependent on which package you go with. I'm going to show you the prices here in a second. So each room, it's if you want to have internet, you can have internet, 24-hour room service, daily cleaning service, daily stateroom attendance, and anybody who was on the cruise last time can tell you that the folks on the cruise are phenomenal. The staff and folks who work there are phenomenal. They do a good job. They go above and beyond, and it's definitely a unique experience. It's just a great experience. So I'm just going to show y'all here. I have a video of the sample of an interior room. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I just want to give y'all an idea of what the room is like. So that's the interior room. As you can see, you have a bed. You can have these beds configured as a king or as 2 twins separated. As you can see in the interior room, you don't have a window, you have a mirror. Okay, so that's an interior room. And I have another video of a balcony room. Balcony room is a little more space, not much, but you have a lot more space by way of the balcony too. Same deal with the interior room. You can have the beds configured as a joint, as a combined or separate. Okay, so pricing. Let's see here. As of, let's say, a few days ago, the price is going to be per person, and each, the way Royal Caribbean, all the major cruise lines do their booking is that they do it. They set the pricing on the room based off a 2-person occupancy. You can't just be 1-person occupancy, but your price is going to double based off because they book the room by double occupancy is the way they advertise it. So these are the prices. So for an interior stateroom, it's going to be $451 per person. That's not the total cost. That's just like the base cost of what it's going to cost. Is what they're currently advertising. And right now, Royal Caribbean is currently doing 30% off. All right, so that's an interior stateroom. An ocean view room is 121, so a little less than $100 more to have that window, and it's per person. A balcony room is going to be $745 per person, and a suite is $1101 per person. If you want to do a room by yourself, basically what you'll do is you'll just double the cost of a room plus maybe $100 for port fees and taxes and whatnot. So those are these are the main sorts of rooms. They have different variations that you can do with the room, and I can show y'all that a little later. Like you can have an interior room. Let's say you want an interior room, but you want a little more space. You can do that, but it's going to cost a little extra. And I can pull up the website for y'all so y'all can see what's available right now currently. But the same thing with all these rooms. Like they have like a basic ocean view room, but you can upgrade it and have a little more space. Same thing with the balcony. All right, so you try to figure out your total cost is going to vary depending on which room you get, but the way the math basically breaks out to like add 25% to whatever the price is right here. So this 451, do 451 times 1.25. That's going to ballpark you for what your total cost is going to be. Let's see here. And something that a lot of us didn't know about last time, but all ships do this after the cruise. There's an 18% gratuity that they charge you afterwards, and it's just like based off of the service, like if you get like the dinners that you receive, the stateroom attendance, all of that. They tack on an 18% at the end of the cruise, and I think for most of us, the price at the end was like $60 is per person is what it ended up coming to with the gratuity is what it was. Okay, so that's just something I just wanted to let y'all know about because it's something a lot of folks didn't know about on our last cruise, but I just figured I'd throw that in there. Let's see here. So now it's 100 deposit due by December 1st, and we need to have it in by December 31st because that's the way we can lock in these group rates and to get credit toward the cruise. Will rooms have credit? The rooms, it depends. It depends on how many people book the cruise, Jasmine, whether or not we'll have credit or not. Typically, the way they're doing their credit now is if you book with the cruise as a group 6 months in advance of the cruise, then you receive, they throw in like credit. And then they also throw in credit based off of the number of people that book with the cruise. So we missed that 6-month deadline to have a credit that way. But depending on the amount of bookings that we get, we might receive some credit toward the cruise. And for folks who don't know, the credit can go toward excursions and different things like that. All right. So 100 deposit due. This is 100 deposit per person. So per stateroom, a 200 deposit is required by December 31st. And that's going to be non-refundable. Okay. The remainder of the cruise balance is due 2 months after your initial deposit. So let's say if you you put your deposit on your room tomorrow, February 14th, you have to pay the remainder of your balance. Okay. And the way it works is, so the deposit's not refundable, but let's say if you pay for your cruise in total, you just do it tomorrow, but you have to cancel, something comes up a week from now, they will refund you a lot of your cruise, but the closer to the cruise that it happens, the less they can refund you. So if you try to cancel a week or a month out from the cruise, you may not be able to receive anything that you put toward the cruise. It just depends. They have tiers based on when you cancel and stuff like that. December 1st is December 31st, Titus. I'm sorry, that was a slip of the tongue by me. Due by December 31st. Just give y'all about 2 weeks to kind of find a roommate if you want to do that. So look at your finances if you want to do that. Look at your schedule, figure out your vacation with your job if that's something you want to do. So December 31st. Okay. Let's see. So some questions and miscellaneous info that y'all might have that I'm anticipating. You don't need a passport. Even though we're going to Mexico, you don't need a passport, although it's highly encouraged. It's highly encouraged because if you have a passport, you can board quicker, and when you arrive, you can get off the ship quicker. It's just an easier process if you have your passport. You don't need your passport, but it's highly encouraged. If you don't have your passport, you need a government ID, and you'll also need your birth certificate if you don't have a passport. So it's passport. If not passport, then government ID and your birth certificate. So transportation to the port. Last time we did, some people flew in, some people drove together independently. A large group of us took a van. We rented a van and drove there, which was a fun experience. But with the port being in Miami, it's a bit of a longer drive. It's 12 hours. And I don't foresee anybody wanting to do, and I think we had to pay about $120 or something per person to drive there together. But the way I figure with it being a 12-hour drive, that's a whole different experience than an 8-hour drive. So currently, right now, as of today, there are round trip tickets to Miami, the closest port, to Miami, which is close to the port. And the current round trip, this is to there and back, is $138. Now, that price is going to change the closer you get to the date. So if this is something you're going to do within, you decide if you're going to do it, you definitely want to book your flight at the same time. Royal Caribbean does this thing where you can book your flight with the cruise line, so all your expenses is together. But when I went to do the numbers on that together, Royal Caribbean, the price for their flights is going to be almost triple to 4 times the price that if you just do it independently by yourself, if you just book your own flight. So that's the option I'm going to take, and I just think that's the best option. I can do it for y'all if y'all want it to be packaged in with your pricing, but I wouldn't advise it because it's just extra money that you can save it when you just take a flight, book it independently. Okay, so there is a website that I created for the cruise, just so y'all can go and refer back, and y'all can also book the cruise. And let me show you all this here. Let's see here if I can. Okay. So it's going to be the group's website, positiveblackpeople.com//travel/2024 cruise. So this is it here. And as you can see here, we have a cruise sign-up form. And I need all this information in order to book you all. So you need your first name, last name, your email, your phone number, what sort of room you want, and if you have any questions or comments. Then I need whoever you're going to be cruising with, I need their first name, last name, email, phone number, and I need a date to contact you in order to process your deposit. The deposits aren't processed through the group, it's processed through Royal Caribbean themselves. So you contact me, we'll hop on the phone together, and then we'll book your room, and you'll get a invoice directly from Royal Caribbean after your deposit's been processed. Okay. So I need a date and time that you want to set that phone call up. And I just have more information. I'll be updating the website with the current prices if they change, if there's like a drastic change. But if it's like within $20, I'm not gonna go into the website and change it. So I have the rooms that's available, I have the prices, and I have the deposit that's required. I'll add the date up here just to kind of keep everybody in the know. I also have the itinerary up here. If you want to go on the cruise, but you don't like you don't know who you be cruising with, or but you want a roommate, I can set that up for you. Just fill out your interest form, and then just maybe leave a comment right here saying, I need a roommate, and I'll try to set y'all up depending on if, like, let's say Titus, wants to go on a cruise, but he doesn't want a room by himself. He wants a roommate. He'll write that up here. And then let's say EA also wants the same thing. He'll write the same thing, and I compare those two guys up, and I'll pair it based off of basically what makes sense. So if y'all have, if it's 2 women, we'll do 2 women. If it's 2 guys, we'll do 2 guys. I think that's the way we had handled it last time. All right. So that's the website. I'll have this linked to the meetup. I'll have it pinned in the group chat. I'll have the information readily accessible for everybody. And remember, this recording is also going to be on YouTube as well. So I think that's it. Any questions? Does anybody have any questions?